Hi, everyone. It's Leonore. Welcome to Soul Searching Tarot. I know that there was B Rabbit. I know that you were waiting in the other live, but just to let you know that I am here. I'm going to try to find you guys. Okay, there you are. All right. So yes, I'm going to be doing the insight and information for Libras. I'm just getting myself situated here. Okay, I found you guys. See, this wasn't so bad like last time. Right, Riley? Remember last time? It was like crazy. Mercury was really messing with me. Okay, so yes, we're doing the insight and information for Libra. Thank you for all of you that have been joining Riley and I for the past 7 videos. So right now we're up to Libra. We still have another 5 to go. So I'm really excited to finish this series with you guys. Riley and I are going to start our Patreon page where we're going to talk more about astrology and compatibility, relationship advice, birth charts, placements. So you know, we're just giving you these videos now, and you know, I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you're learning something from it. You guys are more than welcome to, you know, join us live. If you have any questions about the particular sign that we are speaking about, which today would be Libra, then please join me live in the chat room. Okay, I'm just waiting for a few people to come in the live because whatever. I refuse to talk about it. Anyway, insight and information for Libra. Libra, you are the 7th house of the zodiac. You're ruled by Venus. You also share this planet with Taurus. So both Taurus, Libra have the same planets, which is what you call a binary function. Astrologers will call this a binary function, meaning like Mars rules both Scorpio and Aries. Saturn rules both Aquarius, and it also rules Capricorn. Mercury rules both Virgo and Gemini. So that's what binary function means. It's like a mirror. So to speak, it's like a mirror. So Venus represents beauty. It represents sorry guys, my chat is like, I'm trying to figure out why my chat's not working. It represents beauty. It represents love. It represents nature. It represents value. So I'm just trying to get my chat going here, guys, so that I could have people join me live. But in the meantime, what do you have to say, my darling Riley? Say hi to everyone.
Hey everybody, how y'all doing? We back at it again.
I'm just fixing my chat. For some reason, it's not working. I was wondering why no one was here. I hate to start this all over. I don't really want to start over, but I do want interaction at the same time. All right. Well, you could talk while I fix this. Riley, go ahead and talk a little bit about Libra as far as, I don't know, Greek mythology, wherever you want to start.
Well, when you're dealing with when you're dealing with Venus, which rules Libra, you're dealing with Venus also rules Taurus as well. Venus is a very interesting planet because it's the second planet closest to the sun, but it's the hottest planet closest to the sun. Pardon me, recant. It's the hottest planet, even though it's the second planet to the sun. Mercury is the first, Venus is the second, but Venus is actually hotter than Mercury. And the reason why is because Venus has a way of trapping heat. Similar to, you ever have somebody has a glass house that grows the flowers and stuff and how it traps the heat, and those glass houses grow the plants? Well, Venus is Venus as a planet. So it traps heat. And it also spins backwards. It doesn't spin like other planets. Other planets spin a certain way, Venus spins the opposite direction. So with that being said, it's funny how Venus, has the ability to store and has the ability to trap plants and help things grow. And ironically, Venus is a love of beauty and flowers, style, just elegance. That's Libra, beauty, the veil, and when you see the Libra, he or she, they have a certain charisma with them. And it's mixed with very high intelligence because the Libra is cardinal air. And cardinal air is a manifestation of concrete information about to be put in physical form, which is highly intelligent.
Yeah, I'm glad that you said that because Venus rules both Taurus and Libra. One thing about Taurus is that Taurus is an amazing planner. Taurus are really good at planning things, where Libra will execute it. So being a cardinal air sign, they will be the executor, the one that carries out the plan. So that's one thing that that mirror. When I was talking about binary functions of the planet, that's one example of how two signs can work in one planet. Taurus being the planner and Libra executing that plan. In love, Libra, you know how to say the right things. You know how to do the right things. You're very highly intelligent. And we appreciate that about you. But you also don't like adversity. You don't like conflict. You're not like Aries. Aries is your polar opposite. Aries is much more forward communicator. You're more aloof. Aries, your polar opposite, is more combative. You are more passive aggressive. Would you agree, Riley?
I'm glad you said that because you and I are about to have a conversation.
Can't wait.
See, the veil. With the Libra, you don't know what you're going to get. Their ability, he or she, to disguise who they are until it's too late, or until you don't even know what. There's four Libra types, generally speaking. We have the indecisive one, like, I don't know, you tell me, I don't know. Maybe you have the conversationalist. Talk. You have the kind of like aloof, like you said, like, really? That I didn't even know. And then you have the bully. And any one of those can transform into any one of those. Remember, as I said last week when we were talking about the Virgo being a chameleon, but the Libra is the shapeshifter. Totally different. Higher, like, very, very different in the ability to shape and shift in a way where you don't know what you're going to get. you know, because sometimes the Libra, see, like you said, the polar opposite of Libra is Aries. And Aries can be aggressive and be physically, sometimes even bullies. But the Libra is an intellectual bully. And because Libra is a cardinal air sign, it doesn't necessarily pull from the polarity of Aries, because Aries is a cardinal fire. So there's not a lot of water in those combinations. So when the Libra, he or she deals with intellect and intelligence, and you come with an emotional weight to yourself, in actuality, you can make the Libra feel uncomfortable because they'll disregard how you feel. Libras can be very, very, I mean, because of their natural intelligence and because of the polarity of Aries, they can be very dismissive to where you think and feel, because sometimes their natural genius or intelligence makes them feel that they're right. The chink in that armor, and every side of the chink, is that they are the we of the zodiac, the balance. So they do need partnership. They do need some level of continuity, some level of certainty when it comes to relationships and love. You just have to understand what you're dealing with when you're dealing with them, because it's not what you think. And just listen, you show me a Libra woman that's not beautiful, I'm gonna call you a liar. 90% of them are gorgeous. You know, I can name plenty of them, actresses and people you know on the street, and that's how they can. That's one of their strengths. They know that you can fall for them. You know, that's Aphrodite, you know, in mythology. They know that you can fall for them. And they're charismatic. The smile is nice. They just know how to maneuver in a certain fashion. But you have to unveil to get to them, to see what you're really looking at. So you're right. They are aloof and one capacity. But the other three I named, they can play indecisive and know exactly what they're going to do. They can play as a conversationalist, so you won't really talk. You know, they can play. You know, if they think that you like them because they're beautiful, they'll play. They can play that against you. I'm not saying that they will. I'm not saying they will. I'm saying they have the ability to, because they pull from that. They have a cardinal air identity.
Yeah. I would say that they do this deliberately. They deliberately psychologically manipulate people's minds.
Mm-hmm.
But that's the intelligence part of them, you know. That's
Mm-hmm.
I listen, I have so much respect for Libras. I'm gonna say a couple of things, and Riley's gonna say a couple of things that may trigger a couple of you Libras, but you could handle it. You're okay. Because as much as you don't like conflicts and adversity, that's okay, because we know who you are in the inside. We know your lower nature, okay? Your lower nature, if I had to make a really good example of the lower nature of Libra, is the beautiful creatures on earth. For example, like the black mamba or the poisonous frog. I think it's called the golden frog. One of those beautiful spiders that people are so attracted to because they're so beautiful. Come to find out, they are the most poisonous and deadliest creatures on the planet. That is you, Libra. Okay? Don't get it twisted. B Rabbit has been here. She's been very supportive. B Rabbit has a Libra rising. So this is interesting, Riley, because she has a Libra rising and an Aries moon. And she says that she finds herself being all those types of person, depending on the situation depending on the person and situation, she says. So because she has a Libra rising, Libra ascendant on the ascendant, and an Aries moon, she could be both those things.
Yeah, see, a Libra rising and a Aries moon. See, with all that my interpretation of that is, you may come in like a lamb, but there's a lion in you, lioness in you, B Rabbit. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's just, that's the beauty of the ascendant and the moon, those other influences on your chart, because what they actually do is they give you some level of balance. But that Aries moon is nothing to play with. Aries moon could be almost as aggressive as an Aries sun, even sometimes even more. But that Libra rising means that when she walks into a room, how people may view her is a certain elegance, a certain, because you cannot dismiss the fact that, we need Libras. We need people who understand the finite of beauty. People who understand the beauty of things on an intellectual level. We need that. It's just the fact that they're so good at hiding the other side that we don't. It's the punch that you don't see coming hurts the most. But back to Libra Rising. Libra Rising is just how people may perceive how they look at her. Like, oh my goodness, like, but when she's upset, and she gets mad, that Aries moon is dangerous. And don't forget, wait a minute. So, and hold on, let me touch on that a little bit. Remember what I said earlier. The Libra can be an intellectual bully. So they could come at you verbally, and then if she has a Aries moon to go with it, it could be fueled with anger. You know what I'm saying? So that is something that you gotta be, or very quiet, a very internal anger. Like, all right, keep it up. You'll see. It can go away with an Aries moon, but that's a nice combination though. Me being an Aries sun, I can appreciate that combination.
Yeah, it's they're both cardinal signs, and so I think cardinal is a very strong position in anybody's birth chart. To have Cancer, Aries, Capricorn, Libra, very powerful go-getter positions. People, Cancer is one of the signs that people may look at them like, they're sensitive or they're, moody or whatever the case may be behind Cancer and the stigma behind Cancers. But don't get it twisted with Cancers too. Cancerians, they also have that deadly, aspect to them. Cancers is also one of those. Isn't Cancer like up there when it comes to like one of the most signs that commit like kills, crimes of passion?
I think it was Virgo, Sag, Pisces. I don't know if Cancer was. I think I may be wrong. I think it was Virgo, Sagittarius, and Pisces, if I'm not mistaken. No, Gemini. Yeah, Gemini. The Cancer is a little bit more dangerous when you try to infringe on their family circle, their kids, their siblings, their mama. That's when they are dangerous. They're even their friends. I have a Cancer friend, this dude. I got to this video one day. And the dude, like, we've been friends for a long time. If we go out somewhere and he even think there's an issue with somebody has with me, he's just ready to just jump on me. And you know me, I hold my own twice. But he just has this thing where he wants to make sure he has my back. That's Cancer protection. They're like that. When they have a bond with you, nothing's going to break you.
Yeah.
Especially, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Sometimes the men are a little different, but in a different way than the women in that regard, but pretty much similar as far as safety, because they don't let anybody get to them. They don't let anybody get to them like that. The Libra is a little bit different. See, the Libra, like I said, the Libra, when the Libra attaches themselves to you, it's not just done on an emotional level first. Nah, it's intellectually attaching themselves to you. Like, why would I go anywhere when I have him? Like, it just makes sense for us to just be together. It's not like a Scorpio attachment or a Pisces attachment where it's like, I just feel I have to just totally become you and you become me, and it's us against the world type of, until it's not. The Libra is a little bit more different than that. You know, a Libra has a lot of masculine qualities, even the females do. You know, I've had Libras come at me sideways, and I had to really let them know, listen, you met the right one on the right day. and when I check them, they love me. I check them hard. Because, you know, they're very smart. So when you're very smart and you're not around anybody who's as smart as you can get a little cocky. You know, it's very easy to get arrogant when you think nobody can match your intelligence. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta check them.
Yeah. One thing about Libras that people may not know is that they can be very psychic. They are very open to the occult. You know, those are things that you don't really hear about. Riley and I were talking about Cardi B the other day. And I was telling Riley because Cardi B is a Libra. And you know, she rose to fame. You know, the way she rose to fame is fine. You know, I have no objections for how she did it or whatever the case may be. That's show business for you. But he didn't know that she was in the occult. She's into Santeria, brujeria. Understand? Cardi B is Dominican. She's from the Caribbean. So I know this because I am exactly from where she is and the culture and traditions that she carries. And Riley had shown me this one video that I never came across. And she's in this one video where she nobody knows why all of a sudden she stops and it looks like she's being possessed. And I'm like, Riley, that's because she is being possessed. She practices Santeria. She practices, you know, she's into voodoo and all that stuff. And I don't know. I mean, she has her own deities and stuff, but people don't know that about her, unless you know you're I guess in the Hispanic community. But even I'm not saying all Hispanics would know that, but she's into the occult big time, like big time. So that's one thing that Libras can be very open to.
And you mentioned Cardi B. Now, Cardi B, I mentioned the 4 types of Libra. What type would you put her under?
What type?
Would she be the indecisive? Would she be the conversationalist? Would she be the bully or the butch, or would she be the like air aloof type?
I think she would be the airhead. And I mean that in the most respectful way. I call myself an airhead. But you know, I have an Aquarius moon. But you know, air signs are very always up in the air. They can't be grounded. It's I think one of the hardest thing about people with air placements is that it's difficult for them to get along with people with earth elements. So Virgo, Capricorn, Taurus, not all the time, because they're always up in the air. But now that you're telling me this, I didn't know that there were different sides to air, to Libras. I like, you know, I picture her as an airhead.
See, now, see, I'm glad you mentioned that. She's all four when you look at it. She fights, she's aggressive. Just a man allegedly cheats on her or cheated on her, and she was gonna break up with him. She took him back. She has all, because Libra has all those components, you know. But then you have other Libras like Keisha Cole, who has that aggressiveness to it, but very beauty. Ashanti, another Libra. I'm saying beautiful on the outside, very quiet, very. She's like more of the, like the, indecisive, cool. You never see Ashanti get aggressive. You never see it get aggressive or defensive. You always see it cool. So not saying that she doesn't feel that way. You don't see it. I'm sure she'll show it. So it's just funny how there's different types of Libras that have that natural beauty, but they really have a underlying Doja Cat. He's a Libra. I don't know what Doja Cat is, but a little younger than the rest of the girls I mentioned, but she's another Libra. And how she behaves and how she acts. It's like you have to, if you really, I love it because I love it. I love astrology because it taps into the psychology modality in regards to understanding the mindset of an individual. Because some people don't let you in, so you have to. They don't let you in easy, I should say. And the if you don't really see the Libra for what they can be, but let's reverse that. Even if a Libra is mean, right? There's a beautiful side to her or him as well. We can't just focus on the fact that they're lower side. There's a certain presence in them that's the balance. What is the symbol and what is the symbol of Libra? Is the
scale.
The scale. And what is in the American justice system? You have what? The blind lady with the scale. The reason why she's blind is because she's not dealing with what she can see because it would tamper her emotions. She's dealing with what she understands and hears and can make the right decision. That's why I said earlier, he's not operating from an emotional perspective. It's logical.
Yeah. Let's go to the chat room real quick, Riley. I have Savvy missed the Virgo video. Unfortunately, I was having technical issues on my end that day, Savvy. So I apologize because I know I saw you in the chat room and then you couldn't get in afterwards. Amy is a Libra. Thank you, Amy, for joining. Talking about as far as Cardi B, you had asked, what type of Libra she is, and B Rabbit thinks she's aloof and an airhead. Savvy thinks she's a sexual airhead. But B Rabbit wanted to know about non-committing, like the Libras that are non-committal and promiscuous. Do they just enjoy sex, or I mean, for me, the Libras, I just feel Libras cannot be single for a long period of time. And if they are single, they transition really easy to the next relationship. So I don't know, is that a codependent situation, or is that like they need sex?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think the Libras that are non-committal, they compensate by always having to have or want somebody around them, not necessarily long term, but definitely having somebody in their physical proximity. Like we were saying earlier, it's a we sign. Libras. Remember, you can't have balance if you only have one. Libras have to have two. He or she needs that. I know Libra men that are not necessarily in committed relationships, but they have a whole string of women, and they can get them too, because they have that look. The females have that look that the opposite sex, and sometimes depending on your lifestyle, the same sex will gravitate towards them. So, but you're absolutely right. Even though they are single, they're not single because they don't like to be alone. Libras don't like Libra. Libra is an excellent salesman. They may make you feel that they don't need nobody. They're just not, unless they really have a strong chart, like a Sag or Aries influence, they particularly like the company of others, you know, because that's just who they are. And there's nothing wrong with that, because we do it without that balance in nature, without us having that attraction for each other, man and woman, how we populate. You need that. So I don't have a problem with that lifestyle, but they do have a some underlying codependency. They may not express it though. They may even intellectualize why they don't need it. And in the back of their mind, they need it, they want it. You know, most Libras don't be single for a long time unless they've been in a real traumatic relationship where they're recovering in a certain fashion. But they typically they like being in a relationship, and they don't, and they're not in a relationship with in an opposite sex. They'll have a gang of friends around all the time. You know, they're all, or their kids they'll be with their kids all the time. It'll be some type of connection with other people. They're not solitary beings. So I don't want to limit them to just being they gotta have a man, they gotta have a woman. I'm not gonna say that. I don't want to limit them, but they have to have some type of connection with another human being or an animal on a consistent basis. And that's why they love sex so much. Libras love sex. And not so much because Libras are sensual. You know, a Libra could have sex and orgasm off their. A Libra could have sex like this. There's a mirror on top. A glass on top of the ceiling. A Libra can look at herself and orgasm off the mirror and looking at herself. A Libra can look at a room and he or she, and if it's well decorated, it's well lit, the way it just designed, that can turn a Libra. That's stimulation to a Libra. They just love beauty. That's Venus. They love beauty of things. Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it depends on the birth chart for sure. You know, and I guess, you know, the trauma, whatever they had in the past with other people that they had relationships or relationship with. The seventh house does represent I partner. So that's something that the seventh house represents, Libra, and that's what you are. So you need to partner with people. The seventh house also represents social condition. It represents open enemies, and platonic relationships. So that's the energy of your sign. That is a representation of the seventh house. But one thing about the seventh house is that I've learned from studying astrology and studying people's birth chart, is that the seventh house will bring your shadow side out. The seventh house will make you work on your shadow work, or as I like to say, will make you confront your own demons face to face, will make you question your self-worth because of a bad relationship. Whether it was a family member, whether it was a love relationship, a marriage, a friend, you know, a co-worker, it doesn't matter. All these are relationships. And so having the seventh house in your birth chart is powerful. Is powerful because another thing that the seventh house represents is sacrificing something of yourself or giving something up of yourself to move on to another relationship. So after you get out of a bad relationship, you have to confront your shadow work. You have to work on your demons, your inner trauma, whatever that may be. It doesn't matter. And that's one of the things that the seventh house represents. It's getting to know yourself. Even you are a relationship. You are having a relationship with yourself, but that only happens after you work your things out with yourself from getting out of a bad relationship. You'll be surprised how much you get to know who you are from a bad relationship, and that's the epitome of the seventh house.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think once they experience that and they do evolve to their higher self, I mean, there's nothing they really can't accomplish because they have the natural brain. What other signs have to work hard for, those it comes naturally to a Libra. That cardinal air, remember that air sign is intellect. And it's on a it's even a higher form of air than the Gemini. It's a different layer of air. It surpasses even the constellations. So their air is different. It's almost their air is almost like honestly like God in motion and how the mind of one's higher self can operate. That's why Libras can be very good judges. They can be very good diplomats. They're very diplomatic. They can be the voice of reason. And all the girls in the crew not getting along, the Libra's like, listen, y'all. We're not doing this today. We're going on vacation. We're gonna. The Libra's like, you ever had like some type of, you ever see those type of shows where somebody from the UN comes in to be a negotiator? That's the Libra mindset.
The mediator.
Yeah, Libras are mediators. They can be that way in an environment that supports it. But if you violate that diplomacy, if you take away their ability to feel that they can't flourish, if you try to rob them of their natural sense of intelligence or beauty, then you will see them pull from the polarity of Aries. And that's when they can become dangerous.
Yeah.
So you have to learn. See, my thing with Libras is you have to learn how to love them in a way that bring out the best of them. Like what Libras have taught me is, like, for example, I'm making up a scenario. A Libra will go to all. I love boxing, right? I love boxing. Libra will go to all my boxing events. I'm thinking she likes boxing. She don't even like boxing. But she wants to go with me because she's my partner. So where we're going is more important than what we're doing. So flip it. She wants to go to some wine tasting stuff, or some wedding planner, whatever. And I don't want to go. In her mind, right there, that flip right there. Because in her mind is where's the equality? Where's the balance?
Yeah.
And I'm thinking to myself, well, nah, I went with you. You went with me because you like boxing. She goes, I don't like no damn boxing. But I would never know because it was about the partnership.
Well, that's where the communication, this is where I was talking about communicate. They don't communicate their feelings to the way where people understand.
Because air signs usually don't. How many Geminis or Aquarius or Libras like, they're not like, I'm not saying a Libra doesn't have feelings because all humans have some level of emotion. It's how it's articulated different. The Libra is a lot of people say this, I'm glad I remember this. A lot of people say, oh, Libras they're always indecisive, they don't know what they want. I did mention that earlier, but let me say one thing straight. I said earlier too, Venus is the only planet that spins backwards. So the Libra, it may be indecisive because it takes a longer time to manifest what it's trying to do. But when the Libra makes up he or she's mind, what they're going to do, oh, it's on. And it's going to happen. And it's going to be great. So they may not be as spontaneous as a Sag or Aries, but when they make a decision, It's going to be very calculated and very, very smart. And that's what people don't understand, you know, and they don't get credit for that. They don't get enough credit for the fact that, well, what are you going to do? I don't know. But even while they say, I don't know, they're being a little, I don't know, little quick, I don't know. But in the back of that genius mind that they have, they're actually formulating an answer. And that's what I love about them. My watch phones. That's what I love. I'm kind of excited. That's what I love about them, because they're always working. You know what? I'm gonna go on a limb and say this. I think most air signs, the ones that use drugs, even like, you know, alcohol, whatever, most air signs intoxicate themselves not to get high, but to get sober. Because their mind works different. It's always working. It's always in motion. Genius. You know. Look at Neil deGrasse Tyson, the astrophysicist, Libra, one of the smartest man in the world. To this right now, the most important man that lives, Libra. You heard him, right? The astrophysicist.
Yes, I know.
Yeah, he's a Libra. So, yeah. You know, people like that, you know, and if you listen to him talk, you know, he's not really a fan of astrology, you know, but I could break that down any day. But when you listen to him talk, he always talks about what? Scientific facts, not emotion. You know, but so I think air signs, because their brain is so calculated and so intelligent, that if they do use any substances, I think it's to slow it down. What other signs may use to escapism, like a Pisces, this is different with them. It's almost actually to bring themselves down to everybody else's level. You know, and that's just my personal opinion, just due to my observation and due to my studies. But if somebody sees differently, please chime in. I want to hear a different opinion for what I'm saying, because I want to learn as well.
Well, I personally know Libras that are recovering drug addicts. I personally know Libras that are functional drug addicts or functional alcoholics. So yes, I could see that, especially for an air sign, because like you said, their mind is just, you know, like I'm, you know, I have air placements in the moon, and for me, you know, I share, I'm not very transparent about things, so I hope I don't offend anyone, but I used to smoke weed. My biggest downfall, my biggest weakness is alcohol, or was alcohol. And it was really because I have Aquarius very strong in my chart, and Aquarius is one of the last signs of the zodiac wheel, and it does represent psychosis or anything that has to do with the psyche. For me, it was more of like not making myself crazy, because I would, even till this day, I will make myself crazy. So I would have to bring it down with alcohol, bring it down with, you know, a couple of puffs from a joint, you know, because then and only then will I feel like I'm connecting with everybody. And people won't look at me like I'm weird. They'll be like, oh, she's cool. But that's crazy that I would have to do that as an air sign.
Well, hold on a second. Let me add to that, if you don't mind.
No.
Okay. Keep in mind that you're also a Scorpio. And Scorpio are very, like you just said a few minutes ago, they're not as transparent. So it's secretive. Alcohol, you blacked out. Are you there?
Yeah,
alcohol,
the lights. I don't know if I'm still live on YouTube. the electricity went out. So I don't know if you guys can still hear me. I feel like the video is still going on, guys. So it's been pretty windy here where I'm living. My son's about to come in because he's probably scared. So I know it's dark here, folks.
I'll keep going if the camera's running. If they're still listening, I'll definitely keep going.
Yeah, and like, look at me. The electricity, you saw how the you didn't see it because you were on camera. Yeah, I don't think like this is going. I know you could hear me because I'm obviously I'm on my phone, but it's the electricity, the power went out. We're gonna have to do a part 2, Riley.
Okay.
I'm gonna end the stream because it's, you know, if the electricity went out, there's no Wi-Fi, you know what I mean?
Okay. We'll do a part 2 for like 20 minutes, and then we'll go right into Scorpio. We'll do a lead in.
Yeah, I have no Wi-Fi. I'm trying to see. Yeah, I have no Wi-Fi. The electricity went out.
When that happened earlier today.
Just now.
See the power. See how much power we got, me and you. I'm telling you, yo. That's what happens. I'm telling you. When you start tapping into the high science, there's forces that don't want you to talk about that because they don't want you to educate the masses neither.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I've seen that happen.
Yeah. It happens to me all the time. I'm on the phone, click off, you know, you're getting down and dirty. What was the response from some of your viewers?
Oh my God, there were so many. They were really chatting. They were agreeing with you. I can't see the chat now. Let me see. There was a lot of responses. Let me see if I can't go back to it. No, I can't go back to it. I'm completely offline.
I think I'm online still because the green is going back and forth. So I think that we're still online. So
really,
be mindful.
I mean, even if we are. I can't. Can you do me a favor? Because I really hate to. I mean, I know I'm in the dark and I know people are looking. Can you see? Because I can't see from my end. Let me see. Maybe I can. Hold on.
I'm gonna go. Hold on, let me see if I can see.
I want to see if my viewers are still on.
Yeah, if they're still on, we're just gonna keep talking.
Yeah, it looks like we're still on. Yeah. My viewers are
they're still on?
My viewers are still watching me in the dark. Oh my, Riley has a point. When it comes to the dark side, real dirty, and like he said, like there's some gods and deities that don't want you to know the truth about a specific energy in the cosmos. Understand that this is all alive. And it does happen. Riley was about to kick some knowledge and it just didn't happen. Anyway, but I am going to do a part 2 to this because this is ridiculous. I'm not going to be in the dark. I can't. It's just ridiculous. All right. But I just want to thank everyone for watching. I know no one could see me. No one could see me. I know no one could see me. The electricity completely went out. I heard some real loud, like a boom across the street, and then it was finished. It was done. It was done. So. But anyway, thank you guys for being in the chat room. We're going to do, I agree, Riley, we'll do like a little bit of Libra and then Scorpio.
Yeah, we'll do a lead in.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care, everybody.